Well, Doug, what an incredible way to start out PWX. Talk about lighting the fuse. Two of the dominant independent wrestlers in the business today. Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel, and Jay Lethal to kick things off.
Unbelievable, you are right. What a way to start off, not just this show, but to start off the history of this promotion. The first match, Christopher Daniels versus Jay Lethal. I can't think of a better competitive match than these two guys here in the ring.
I mean, Doug, I know it is a cliche thing to say, but truly, this is a main event anywhere in the country, and this is only our first match tonight.
That's right, the opener. It's a hot opener as the fuse is about to be lit here. And I'll tell you what, Eric, I'm excited. I know you're excited. The fans here in Philadelphia are excited. Look at the show on paper. This is going to be one hell of a card tonight.
Oh, absolutely. You have no idea what is going to go down tonight. First of all, just having Steve Corino and Teddy Hart, not in the same building, Doug, but in the same state. That is a recipe for disaster. I mean, I know, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the history of those two throughout the evening. You have Team 3D in attendance. They've laid out a challenge. Who knows? They may come out right now because they have set their sights on Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles in the house. I mean, Doug, truly, anything can happen before the night is over.
Yeah, Team 3D laying the challenge to AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, but obviously Daniels and AJ, I guess they don't think it's that big of a deal because look what we have in the ring here. It looks like Daniels wants to, he has that competitive fire, but he wants to show it against Jay Lethal tonight and not Team 3D. Something's up.
Well, Daniels, you know what? Say what you will about him, and he is an absolutely great piece of talent, Doug, but he is cocky. He is arrogant. He really puts a price high on the fact that he wants to go out there and steal the show, have the best match of the night. And if he's going to go out there and kick things off, he's going to set the night at such a pace that some of the other wrestlers may have a hard time following. But Doug, what's interesting to me, and watch this as the match plays out, look at Chris Daniels. See if he becomes concerned about what's going on at the door, what's going on in the locker room, maybe Team 3D coming through the concession area. I mean, they've laid out the challenge. Obviously, you and I know their history very well, and when they want somebody, when they put somebody in their target range, they are going to fire. Whether it's now, later, or tomorrow, it's going to happen.
Well, Daniels, he is kind of like what you call a cerebral assassin. He's a very intelligent wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Christopher Daniels has one eye on Jay Lethal, and I know that other eye is looking around the building because Team 3D is in the house. I saw him.
Oh, definitely, Doug. You know, it has to be a distraction. I mean, I got to tell you, Doug, if Team 3D had me in their sights, I wouldn't even be in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, it's got to be frightening to be stalked by Brother Ray and Brother Devon. And Christopher Daniels, with as much experience as he has never had to face the power and the brutality of Team 3D. And hey, it may not happen tonight, but the bottom line, Doug, is you don't know, I don't know, and Christopher Daniels doesn't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen at some point.
And I mean, we're just talking up and down the locker room, the roster here for PWX.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this match in the ring right now, this is what PWX is all about. I mean, it comes together, it takes the best wrestlers from everywhere in the United States, Japan, from all around the world. And these are like dream matchups for dream cards. And this is what PWX is bringing to the people here in Philadelphia tonight.
Oh, absolutely, Doug. I mean, the fan in me was so excited to be coming to the show tonight, to be calling the show tonight because, oh, look at that tope right there. I mean, talk about setting a pace, Doug. Whether I was here announcing the show with you or not, I would have been here paying a ticket or whatever it was to get through the door because, as you said, it is just such a great mix, such a hybrid style of professional wrestling here tonight at PWX. I mean, there's really, truly nothing like it in the world today that brings so many styles and so many stars together for one night and one purpose, and that's what's here tonight at Lighting the Fuse.
Did you say paying a ticket? Aren't you the kind of guy that likes to come in through the back door sneak in? I know about you.
Oh, of course, Doug. And you know what? If I had to pay a ticket, I would just take the tab off of my commentating fee tonight, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, Doug, we are looking at, you said, as two great pieces of talent right here in Jay Lethal and Christopher Daniels. And Doug, you and I both, we have both been involved in a lot of inaugural events for a lot of pro wrestling companies, and there's just something special in the air about your first night. You know, I mean, for you, maybe your first kiss, maybe you're still waiting for something like that, Doug, but there is something about your first that gets you very excited. And whether you're Christopher Daniels, whether you're Teddy Hart, whether you're Team 3D, you gotta be excited. I'm excited. I know you're excited because tonight, for all of us, it is our first.
Well, I'll let that one comment slide, Eric, and we all know that I do get a lot of women, maybe more than you, but I don't know. But let's get back to
Chicks dig announcers.
I know they do. Let's talk about Teddy Hart and Steve Corino. the history, they haven't really wrestled, but everybody knows the bad blood in the history from the Funkin' Dojo.
Yes.
Many years ago, it's been on the interviews, everybody knows it. But Teddy Hart, I mean, we know he's a great athlete. We know he's a great wrestler. We know he's a high flyer. And this guy, he has more guts, more intestinal fortitude, more balls than probably most wrestlers here. And it's just the one thing that you got to realize is with all the facts that Teddy Hart is all this, he is crazy as well, and you don't know what's going to happen. He is probably the realest pro wrestler there is in the business.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely correct, Doug. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, you and I, we both have been in different locker rooms around the world throughout the years where Steve Corino and Teddy Hart were in the same building, and obviously, Doug, they cannot exist. You've been there and you've seen it. I've seen it. I was down in Florida with them a couple of years ago back in 2004, and I don't know how many people know this, but the bottom line is, before the show happened, there was a big incident in the locker room. The whole entire show almost didn't happen because as the company, we almost got kicked out of the building because of the disturbance between the two of them. And I think, Doug, the fact of the matter is the only reason they really can coexist tonight here in the building of PWX Lighting the Fuse is because they know that at some point tonight they will be in the ring with one another.
And earlier we talked about Daniels and Team 3D. Teddy Hart, you know, he has been known to maybe not show up here or there. There's been a lot of buzz on the internet. You know, I did see it about, is Teddy Hart going to show up? You know, I haven't seen him yet in the locker room.
No, I haven't seen him either. I've been looking forward to seeing him. It's been a long time since I've seen Teddy Hart, but I will tell you one person who is here, Doug, and you know him, and I saw him. We both saw him, Steve Corino, and he is ready, sunglasses and all.
And you know who's with Steve Corino?
Oh yeah, he's got backup.
Yeah, we'll find out shortly. But besides that, the action in the ring, the pace has been set right here. What an incredible matchup we have here with Jay Lethal and Christopher Daniels. Eric, take it away. Call the action.
Well, Doug, thank you for the lead-in, but you know, Christopher Daniels, as of late, he's been predominantly a tag team wrestler, has had a lot of success with AJ Styles. So this, Doug, actually a change of pace for Christopher Daniels. As we all know, he made his bones as a professional wrestler, as a great singles athlete, but Doug, he may be a little rusty when it comes to singles action. That may be the key for Jay Lethal to take advantage of.
And if you want to talk about this match, Lethal and Daniels, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have said Christopher Daniels is by far the hands-on favorite.
Right.
But with the schedule that these two guys have been going on the last year, Christopher Daniels, he has been in a lot of incredible feuds, incredible matchups. You know, I couldn't call a winner here. Jay Lethal, he has skyrocketed to the top of professional wrestling here. And you know what? It's a new dawn, it's a new horizon, it's a new company, it's PWX. And let's see if Jay Lethal can lead PWX future right here with a win here in the opening matchup.
Absolutely, and for guys like Christopher Daniels, they have been in this position before. They have been a part of an inaugural event. They have been part of a company starting out, trying to establish themselves, take over, have the match of the night. For Jay Lethal, this is a golden opportunity for Jay Lethal. As of late, Doug, he's been in the ring with a lot of veterans. He's come close to beating some of the best that this sport has to offer. Some success, some not, but with every match, Doug, win, lose, or draw, he is getting that much better.
And Jay Lethal, the progression of Jay Lethal throughout the last couple of years here, it's just amazing that this guy went from just 4 years ago, a fan at the building,
yes,
a young guy, a rookie in various companies, and now he's main event status here, and he's trying to prove himself here to the PWX fans, to the PWX office, that he wants to be a mainstay here for PWX.
The one difference in the match, Doug, that I'm noticing so far is you see Christopher Daniels, and he's picking one body part and sticking to it. Jay Lethal kind of all over the place, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I think that'll be the difference as well, as Christopher Daniels, such a tactician. You called him a cerebral assassin. I couldn't say it better myself. Cerebral assassin, there you go.
Very good.
He is just so smart in the way that he goes into a match. He's like a general, Doug, like a general. He's got a plan, he sticks to it, he watches, Doug. I know for a fact the last show that I announced with Christopher Daniels on, he told me on his ride to the show, he was watching tapes of all of his opponents in the Best of the Best tournament. He didn't know who he was wrestling in the first round or the second round, but he actually told me he was watching tapes of every single person in the tournament. He is such a student of the game, and knowing that Jay Lethal is his only opponent tonight, you know he's been studying a lot of Jay Lethal.
And it really comes down sometimes to that one important word, and that word is experience.
Money. Oh.
No, for him, right? But Christopher Daniels, I'll tell you what, if you want to talk about independent wrestling or whatever, Christopher Daniels has the most experience on the independent level than anybody possibly ever. I would go out and say he is could be the Ric Flair of the independents. He is the greatest independent wrestler of all time. And you know, sometimes you say the word independent, it's whatever it is, but I'll tell you what, the action speaks for itself. And look at these guys. These guys have taken what was independent wrestling now to the mainstream, now to an upper level, to a level where I think that these guys are the finest professional wrestlers in the world.
You know, Daniel started out his career doing a lot of high flying, but what we have noticed throughout the match, and just recently, Doug, with those knee strikes, is he's really turned into quite a striker as of late, quite a grappler. We see it there with the wrestling move. And that's what Christopher Daniels does, Doug. Every year, every match, every time he is in the ring, he evolves his game. He evolves, he adapts to his opponent, he adapts to the style. Christopher Daniels is always evolving, he's always learning, he's always studying. That's what makes him so good.
And the fans here getting behind the action. And if you could say there was ever a flaw in Christopher Daniels' game, and I really don't think there ever was one, was his ability to strike with his offense. Maybe his offense wasn't as hard-hitting as some of the others, but I have to agree with you. He has really turned it. He has turned it up a notch, turned it up to a higher level. And he is really one of the most dangerous wrestlers in the world.
Oh, he absolutely is. You see the enziguri right there. Maybe a penny predicament right here. And this, Doug, after beating that he's given Jay Lethal, working over Jay Lethal throughout the match. And what you're noticing now is Christopher Daniels, he's not like your typical wrestler. He's not going to go for a pinfall in the first 90 seconds of the match, the first 5 minutes. Christopher Daniels is going to wait. He's, again, such a general. Maybe right now, Jay Lethal, no.
No, only a 2 count there with the super kick. And ref Jim Finnegan right there. Do you think he's ever seen quick action like this before?
I don't know about Jim, but I think
Arena?
I don't know about Jim, but John Finnegan might.
John Finnegan, I'm sorry.
It's his twin brother, Jim. Body slam there from Jay Lethal.
Sorry, John.
That's all right. Taking advantage of the missed opportunity of Christopher Daniels, and this is what I'm talking about, Doug. Jay Lethal, he's been in there as of late with a lot of veterans. He's learning from his mistakes.
No.
Talk about the spirit of competition right there. Almost like a Uranagi out of Christopher Daniels.
And you know it might be coming up here, that picture perfect
The BME, baby. The best moonsault ever. Now wait a minute.
Well, Lethal's not going to give it to him.
This could be a big upset right here. Not enough. And again, Jay Lethal holding on. Doug, look at the determination of both wrestlers right here.
Ooh, and Lethal catches him with a big kick to the midsection. Going for dragon suplex. No, Daniels blocks it.
He goes for a clothesline, big miss. He's going for the Angel's Wings. Angel's Wings. He nails him right in the center of the ring. That's how good he is, Doug. And it's over.
Wow, what an incredible victory